guys, I am here with my sister Sarah. You may have seen her in some of my previous videos and vlogs.
Or Facebook Lives, not Facebook Lives, what are they called?
Oh, Instagram Lives. Yes, we do that
once.
What are we doing? A lot of you have asked me in the past about when I lived in Australia when I was younger. I've told a lot of people kind of our life story before and they thought it was pretty cool, a little bit different than maybe the average upbringing, I don't know. So I thought that we would do a story time together and kind of tell you guys about a little bit about our life. Right? Yeah, is that it?
Sounds good.
Also, I'm just gonna plug our blog in right here.
Yeah.
You guys
product
should,
placement.
yeah, product placement of our blog. You guys should really go check out our blog. I'm gonna link it below, beachesandbellbottoms.com.
And follow us on Instagram.
And follow us on Instagram. I'll put that all below, but that's a little something that Sarah and I do together, so it'd be awesome if you guys check that out. Let's just get to it. So it all started in the 80s.
Late 80s?
Late 80s. No, our parents met, okay.
Oh, we're going that far back? We're going where our parents met.
They met in Montreal in the early 80s.
Okay.
Yeah. Our parents met here in Montreal, which is where we are right now, where we live, and they decided to get married and to move to Norway.
Because our dad's half Norwegian.
Our dad is half Norwegian. We should mention that. So they lived in Norway for a bit, and then they moved to Italy. And when they were in Italy, Sarah came along. So Sarah was actually born in Italy, and then like a few months after you were born, they came back to Montreal?
Yeah, so basically our dad was transferred to Italy for work. So they worked there and there was a lot of other Norwegians working there as well.
Yeah.
And all the other Norwegian women decided to go back to Norway to have their babies because, I mean, when you're from Norway you don't want to have a baby in Italy.
Okay.
Maybe things have changed.
Yeah.
But my mom, no. My mom was like a little adventurer. And she decided she was going to have her baby in Italy.
Okay, cool.
And I mean, we're not going to get into the details of the birth.
Yeah, exactly.
But
that's what happened.
Sounds like it was an experience.
Yeah, it was quite an experience from what we've heard. And they came back to Montreal
6 months later. A year later.
Yeah, 6 months or so. And then a few years, well, 5 years later I was born, so Sarah and I have 5.5 years difference, and I was born in Montreal, nothing exotic, nothing exciting. So my dad had a job, still has a job that allows him to travel quite a bit.
I would say requires him to travel.
Requires him to travel quite a bit. And when I was 4 years old, apparently my dad came home from work one day and told my mom that people at work were like, were being sent to this little island in the South Pacific called Nouvelle-Calédonie, so New Caledonia. And my parents opened up an atlas, like pre-Google days, opened up an atlas, like found it on the map, and they're like, wow, that's so cool, it's like this little island near Fiji, that's awesome. So my mom said, yeah, like, you should give your name, we should go.
I don't know if they realized how serious it was.
I don't think they did. I think they thought it was just like, they were just thinking, wow, this is cool, adventure, you know? Anyway, apparently like within a week, my dad came home from work and said, hey, we're moving to New Caledonia. So our little family, me, my sister, and my parents, we packed up our lives and we moved all the way across the world to this little island. And
for those of you who don't know where New Caledonia is or what New Caledonia is, which like most people don't.
Though. No?
No, you didn't?
Okay.
It's an island in the South Pacific, about, I don't know, 250,000 people maybe. There's a large, well, it's a French colony, it's like a French territory.
So everyone speaks French, like with French.
So the main
France
language
accents.
is French. And, but that wasn't a problem for us.
Oh yeah, that was another reason, because we speak French, because we're from like the French part of Canada. I guess that was kind of another reason why we were kind of, our parents were okay to move there.
And probably why we were suggested.
Yeah, suggested to go
move there.
Anyway.
So we lived there for like a year and a half, and I mean, New Caledonia is a tropical island, right? So like we literally lived like on the beach.
Yeah. We were like up the mountain, literally from our apartment could just see like the whole view of the lagoon below, and then we would just walk down the hill and we'd be at the beach. It was pretty insane.
And it's a very small place and like small town mentality.
Yeah, so like safe, and we just like walk around with our friends.
Yeah,
we were really young. We'd go to the shops and stuff, like go to the beach by ourselves.
Walk back, go to the beach. Like we did everything by ourselves.
Oh my god, so good.
And school was different.
Yeah, it was very different. They're like very strict in schools there.
Teachers were allowed to like hit kids. Everything was like,
yeah, like not abusive, not like hugely abusive,
but
but they're like allowed to be like idiot.
Yeah.
Wouldn't pass in North America.
No, at all. A lot of like schools just like memorization. Like I remember having to memorize pages and pages of a book just to regurgitate it. Like that was the entire purpose of that. It was
That's insane.
It was so weird. A lot of memorization, but I think that's a French system.
I don't know.
Anyway, so
if you're from France, let us know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But it was definitely like a culture shock in many ways.
but in a way, not really, because I was so young that I just thought it was normal, like our family living on a tropical island, you know?
Yeah, and we definitely, I remember my mom always saying like always being like, oh my god, this is so amazing, look at the view, like appreciate the view.
Yeah, and as a kid I was like, okay,
the view,
it's a
thank you.
lagoon, whatever. But now I'm like, I wish we could go back and like really appreciate that.
Definitely we did not, we took it for granted.
Yeah. Anyway, so we lived there for only about a year, and then year and a half, and then we moved to Australia. So again, this was for my dad's job, and we moved to Brisbane in Australia. We lived there for about 3 years, let's say, and that's where Sarah and I went to, like, Sarah finished elementary school, started high school there. I was in elementary school, and I was super young, and I lived there for like a decent amount of time for my age, so I actually had an Australian accent. Did you too? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No.
But I don't know, because some of my friends from there have told me that like I just sound like way more Canadian now, but maybe it was just like a hybrid.
Yeah, but since I was starting like grade
Korean
one
definitely
there,
have a strong
it was so weird. I would speak with an Australian accent when I was at school with my friends, everything, and then when we were home, I would switch back to a Canadian accent.
Yeah.
How weird is that? And even when we were in New Caledonia, I started, since I was super young, I started learning French with a French from France accent. So weird, such a confused child. Anyway, so we lived in Australia, in Brisbane, 3 years.
So like the winters there were like, I don't know, 22 degrees?
Yeah.
24 degrees. And for them that was like deathly cold.
Okay, not deathly, but it was like
they were cold.
Yeah, they were cold.
They were definitely cold.
And to us, that was summer weather.
So we would swim in our pool like all year round because I mean, like Canadian summers are 24 degrees. And
yeah. So we were just like, what the heck? This is awesome. Like we had to invite our friends over, and I remember we got there like just as winter was starting. So anyways, we just got this pool and we like would invite all our friends over to come swimming, and their parents were like scandalized, like they were sure their kids were getting pneumonia. Like this was it. It was the end. That we were swimming in the middle of winter for them.
Panic.
That was funny. What else was different there?
Like that. I don't know. Once we had a 3-meter long python in our backyard.
Oh my god, my mom flipped out.
So our mom was hanging laundry out outside, like on the line, and this massive snake, which is about like this fat in.
Really? I think it was like this.
It's like 10 centimeters. Is this 10 centimeters?
Yeah.
Is that 10 centimeters?
That looks really big.
More or less. It was fat.
It was smaller than that. Anyway,
No,
it was.
did you see it?
No, Mom saw it.
I saw it.
Oh, I think I stayed inside.
It was big. It was like a fat snake.
So
Anyway,
it was like
it was about 3 meters long and about this fat, and it was just minding its own business, like
going along the fence in our backyard while my mom was hanging up clothes, and we were
she saw it,
and we were in the kitchen, and like we have like
glass doors, and she just ran up to the doors and started pounding on them. And screaming, let me in, let me in.
And we just were so calm, like thinking that our mom was crazy. We just looked over at each other, we're like, what the heck is going on? We just slowly go over to the door, open it, she like runs inside. But yeah, it was just a python, so I don't know.
But she still called like the animal protection people or whatever, the animal people.
And they were like, oh,
to come and get it.
No, but they didn't come. They're just like, oh no, it's fine. It's just a python. We're in a drought. It's trying to find water. We're like, oh, okay.
Just won't go outside for a couple of days.
But no, there weren't kangaroos jumping around our backyard. If people are, everyone's gonna ask.
And most kangaroos you see are actually dead on the side of the highway. So it's
that was kind of sad. It's like our squirrels here. They get like hit.
No, but we see squirrels more than we see them dead on the side of the highway. Whereas like over there we saw more dead kangaroos than live ones.
I know, that was kind of sad. Yeah. That was sad. But we saw koalas sometimes, like in our neighborhood in the trees and stuff. Yeah. I know everyone's gonna ask.
Well, it's very much like here, but just
hot.
Yeah.
And beautiful all the time.
Yeah.
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 After 3 years, our grandfather got sick, and we moved back to Montreal.
Yep. And like our dad had to keep moving for work, but at some point, you know, like we used to change schools every like year.
Yeah, we were changing schools a lot.
It was really not stable, so I think that
as we got older, we kind of weren't interested in moving. Like, well, we didn't have the choice when we were younger. So like when Sarah started high school and then later on I started high school, we really didn't want to move. We had our friends and everything like that. So my dad got offered to move to like, I think like Kuala Lumpur and Malaysia and a bunch of places. And he continued to, yeah, he lived in Chile. He like moved around quite a bit. But we stayed in Montreal, but we continued to travel as a family, so that's always been good. And then obviously you guys have seen that we've traveled quite a bit on our own now that we're adults. But I guess I would just add that a lot of you guys have seen, like I went back and lived in Australia last year, and you guys have seen me travel quite a bit to Brisbane now, like in the last few years. So that kind of gives you a background, like my attachment to Brisbane, and we still have family friends there. Like close family friends, so that's why we kind of have a little bit of a connection to Australia. I think that kind of sums it up. If you guys have questions for us, comment them down below and we'll answer. I think we've actually written an article that kind of touches on like our time in New Caledonia growing up before, so I'll link that below as well. Also, I've mentioned in a previous video to you guys that I'm collaborating with Schick this spring and summer. So that's like Schick razor blades. We did this story time video and I thought it was very much on topic with this collaboration that Schick has going on right now. So they're collaborating Schick with the app slash website Wattpad. I wasn't sure it was like Wattpad.
I think it's watch, like
a watch,
and like
in the light brain
stories, you know.
So yeah, they're collaborating with Wattpad, and Wattpad's this app and website where you can freely share stories, like if you're into writing,
or if you're just into reading. It's like fun before you go to bed, just on your phone.
Yeah, but if you're a writer, you write them. Yeah. And you can submit them. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, for people who are into reading stories, which most people are, you can just go check them out and read any stories that are published there.
And you can like search them by like hashtags and stuff.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, it's like a social platform for readers, writers. So Wattpad and Schick have 4 stories coming out this spring, I guess.
Well, one of them came out yesterday, and I started reading it like a little bit. It was called Escape to Paris, and they're really like nice sort of young woman, like coming of age sort of stories. And this one in particular was, you know, like a young, driven, successful woman who's going through sort of a tough situation, a heartbreak, and now she's, you know, on a whim going to Paris. That's where I'm at in the story, so I don't know how it ends, but
yeah. So we both started reading it. Did you yesterday when it came out? And then there's also I think there's also another one out already. Yeah, it's called Back on Track. And then on April 15th there's another one, and then on April 30th there's another one. I think those are, let me see what they're called. It's The Little Things and The Secret to Summer. So they have these 4 stories coming out, and I thought that it was like a good way to share the collaboration with our story and their stories, right?
Maybe we could write our story.
Oh my god, we should.
Or an our story inspired story.
Oh my god, we should look into that. Oh my god, that'd be fun. Anyway, if you guys check it out or start reading any of them, comment below so we can like exchange, like a little book club. We can exchange thoughts about the stories. That'd be fun. Like I said, there's an app as well, so if you want to just like read on your phone on the train and stuff. Actually, that's what I'll probably do tomorrow. Anyway, you can get it on pretty much like any mobile device, so that's good. And that's it. What are we gonna say? I feel like we're really boring today. We're like low energy.
We're starving.
We are starving. We just ordered some mac and cheese.
Because it's mac and cheese week here in Montreal.
It's mac and cheese week in Montreal, so we're about to pig out. So we're like low energy, lacking nutrients right now. If you guys think that Sarah and I should film some more videos together
when we have food in our stomachs,
let me know. We also have some exciting travels coming up this summer. We're not going to tell you about them yet because it's a surprise, but it's not really a surprise, but I just don't feel like telling you yet. Anyway, so we are probably going to be vlogging together this summer, right?
Yeah.
That's all to come. Follow us on Beaches and Bellabons and follow us separately. I will link everything below, and I'll link all the Wattpad information below. And that is all. That's all. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Do a thumbs up. Oh, I have
Karina's fingers go like...
Anyway, give it a thumbs up. Sorry about my thumbs. And subscribe to my channel to see more videos every week. Thanks guys. Thanks for watching.